you're someone that I've always admired.
Thank you.
You're a wonderful actress. But really why you're here today is because you're now a published writer.
Yeah.
I spent last night reading 2 of your children's books.
Did you get through them?
I did. First of all, everybody always says, oh, well, one day I'll write a children's book and that'll be really fun and such a pleasure.
Yeah.
But what really goes into writing a children's book?
Most of the time is spent not writing. That's what I found. A lot of the time is spent just thinking about what you're going to do. And then sometimes once I actually have it down on paper, it's relatively quick. The first one I wrote on an airplane, I think because it was the first time I'd been alone in a really long time because I have 2 little kids. And I was by myself and I thought, oh, I'll just write this down. And that's kind of how that happened. But I do find that I need to have some time by myself, which as a working parent is hard to do.
Now, as a child, you were called Freckleface Strawberry?
Freckleface Strawberry was the name of a drink mix, like Kool-Aid. You mix it with water, and there was like Root and Toot and Raspberry and like Bubbly Blueberry or something, and Freckleface Strawberry. And so I've been approached by other redheads with freckles who will say, oh, that was their nickname too. Now,
were you self-conscious having freckles or having red hair?
I'd still be happy to be rid of my freckles. I mean, I don't know if freckles are anything that any one of us who have a lot of them really love. And kids also don't want to be perceived as different in any way. So the idea is with the first book was to kind of get inside that feeling of what it means to not first be conscious of how you look and how you're different. So that's really what that was for.
So now, this is you.
Karina. I think she's more adorable than I ever was. But she reminds me, there's something about her that reminds me very much of my daughter. My daughter is a very sort of spunky, funny little girl, so she is kind of like her.
I found that you really did understand sort of vulnerability of being a child, and I remember playing dodgeball as a child, and I remember how big the guys were, and I remember how there was always someone who used to hide in the corner, and you really caught that in the book.
You.
It's a game that everybody plays and everybody fears, whether they say it or not.
It was a very clear memory, and I did do the same thing that she does. I stayed in the back, and then it would just be me and the big kid, and that was terrifying.
Yeah.
And the fact that she handles it she inadvertently scares this big boy. He's doing what he likes, which is playing dodgeball. She likes, playing imaginary games, and they inadvertently scare one another. And so the idea is everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and maybe by a child understanding what someone else's fears are, they'll be more empathetic, to one another.
So having children today has brought back a real understanding of what it was like for you to be a child.
One of the things that I wanted to capture in both of these books is the things that may not seem so difficult to you as an adult are looming as huge problems, not being able to sit next to the person you wanted to sit to at snack time, or not getting the job being the teacher's helper, when you thought you were going to get it, or, I think I tried to put myself in their situation and listen as much as possible. And they kind of will tell you what they need. They do it a lot when you're putting them to bed and you turn out the light and you're ready to leave. You hear, Mommy, you'll just hear it. They'll tell you about some problem they're having.
I should tell you that I joined a dodgeball league a year ago with my friends.
Oh, my God.
It was a combination of my friends from high school and college against random New Yorkers.
Just children or other adults?
No, all adults.
Right, okay.
And here we are playing dodgeball in a gym after work. It brings back all the memories that you brought up in the book.
That's
a little bit of fear because that guy who is no longer 5'1" is now really 6'6", throwing a ball at you from the other side. So in effect, your book is really not just for children, but for people of all ages.
All ages, anybody with fear. Yeah.